Phoenix in 6.
Half the Bucks in the series.
You're delusional.
Your basketball card should be revoked.
I need to see more.
Yo! Yo! What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Sports Thunder. It's Aiden. I am Darius Thomas, and welcome back to the show. Today, guys, we're discussing the Boston Celtics and their expectations going into this NBA season. And as soon as Brad Stevens made the decision to go from the head coach position to the front office as general manager for the Celtics, he began making key moves that have already changed the course for the Celtics going into this NBA season. Kemba Walker and his awful contract are out of the door, and former Celtics center Al Horford has returned. The Celtics also picked up free agent point guard Dennis Schroeder on a middle of exception, and the other key signings include shooting guard Josh Richardson from the Dallas Mavericks and center Enes Kanter. And the Celtics last season were pretty mediocre, believe it or not. They finished with a 500 record, and they also had to win a game in the NBA play-in tournament just to have the number 7 seed in the playoffs and lose to the Brooklyn Nets in the first round. And injuries to key stars like Jaylen Brown and COVID-19 certainly played their part for the Celtics last season. But the team's lack of depth in their roster was the main issue for the Celtics last season. But the Celtics have seemed to fix that issue and are looking to bounce back better than ever going into this NBA season. And despite an uneventful season last year, they look ready to bounce back again. And now let's get to my prediction for the Celtics this season. I see the Boston Celtics finishing at either the 4th or 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. And we can see there's clearly a huge gap between the championship contenders and the playoff contenders. The championship contenders are clearly the Brooklyn Nets, the Milwaukee Bucks, the defending NBA champions, and the Miami Heat, based off of that huge signing by adding Kyle Lowry to the roster. But the Celtics are a playoff contender. They're in the mix with teams like New York and Atlanta and Indiana and Chicago, even despite their defensive concerns. But I still believe that the Boston Celtics can stand their ground. They can still hold their ground based off of the young talent and their key additions this season. And I do believe the Boston Celtics are going to improve going into this NBA season under new head coach Ime Udoka. And here are just a couple of reasons why. Number one, they're going to have a more fluid offense. The Boston Celtics are going to have a more fluid offense. And Ime Udoka has already made it now loud and clear that they plans to work on implementing more of an unselfish pass-first system for the Celtics this season. And the Celtics finished 27th in assists last year at 23.5 assists per game. And the additions of Al Horford and Dennis Schroeder to this team should help in accelerating this process. And guess what? Al Horford in his last season with the Celtics in the 2018-2019 season, he posted an 8.6 assist points created. And sure, Al Horford's prime days like in Atlanta are clearly behind him, but he can still be a formidable passing big on this team. And let's not overlook Dennis Schroeder as one of the more under the radar passing guards in the NBA. And even though he's not worth $84 million, he can still make a huge impact for the Celtics going into the season. Number two, offensive improvement from the key guys. And one guy I'm looking forward to see going into the season for the Celtics is Marcus Smart. And he signed a multi-year extension with the Celtics this offseason. And Marcus Smart is clearly a pivotal contributor on both sides of the floor for the Celtics. But, believe it or not, he has some struggles, especially from beyond the arc for the Celtics last season. He shot 33% from three-point lane last season, which was his lowest percentage since his 4th season in the NBA. And with the key additions like Al Horford and Dennis Schroeder and Josh Richardson and Enes Kanter, and also key young guys like Romeo Langford and Robert Williams and company, I do believe that Marcus Smart, it gives more room for him to grow offensively. And even though he is clearly one of the best defensive guards in the game today, if Marcus Smart improves his three-point shooting, which I believe he will, the Boston Celtics can have a bigger opportunity to compete with those 3 key teams in the East in Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and Miami. And Marcus Smart is one of the most underrated players in the league. He is one of the most pivotal guys, if not the most pivotal guy to the Celtics this season, outside of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So Marcus Smart is definitely going to have a lot of improvement based on these key signings and under new head coach and a new system in the pass-oriented offense. My third and final point for the Celtics is clearly the chemistry and the talent between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And JT and JB are clearly one of the best young duos in the league today, and they're already considered some of the best players in the game of basketball at such a young age. And yes, we will see less touches offensively from the two based on this new pass-oriented offense, but that does not mean we will not. That doesn't mean we will see a drop in offensive production. This team belongs to Jason. This team belongs to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and it will for many, many years to come. And both of these guys are elite, especially in catch and shoot situations. And guess what? Jason Tatum was 64.4% effective. He had a 64.4% effective field goal percentage last season from catch and shoot scenarios. And with all these key additions and all these key signings, like Dennis Schroeder, like Al Horford, and like his co-star in Jaylen Brown, it gives more opportunity for this offense again, reiterating my last point for this offense to be more fluid. And Jason Tatum will also be in consideration to be, in my mind, leading the NBA in scoring. And last season, I believe he had 20 30-point games in 72 games last NBA season. I believe Jason Tatum could be in consideration to be the NBA's leading scorer, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to be all-stars going into the season, and the Celtics are going to have a very, very good season. And with these new signings, it just gives more room, again, for these key guys to grow, and their offensive game will ascend, and that's just a scary sight to see as an NBA fan. And the Celtics don't have the firepower yet to stand up to the title contenders in the East. But there's little reason to panic, as the Celtics are in a good spot, and with a little upstart luck, can make some noise in the East this season. This is Mr. Sports Center. It's Aiden. I'm Dear Simons, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and also make sure to hit that bell for post notifications for every video and update from my channel. Until then, everybody, this is Mr. Sports Center. It's Aiden, and we will see you later, guys. Peace.